Welcome back to V Recaps. Today, we will talk about the 2022 American psychological thriller film, The Immaculate Room.
Wow.
Spoilers ahead, watch out and take care. Dr. Voyan, the mysterious scientist, has devised a new experiment in which he awards couples $5 million if they stay in a spotless chamber for 50 days.
If one of you leaves, the prize money drops to $1 million for the person that remains.
If one decides to depart, the award is reduced to $1 million. There is no communication with the outside world, except for each other's companionship. They can, however, obtain treats by paying for portions of the prize money. Mike and Kate are today's pair, and they believe it will be easy money. Mike believes they were fortunate to find this location, while Kate sees it as another opportunity for their marriage. She does, however, suggest that they share the prize money when they win. Mike believes her idea to invest the money is uninteresting and sees his future in abundance and partying.
And you know what? I'm gonna smoke a fat blunt with Elon Musk as we take his little rocket ship deep into space.
They investigate the area and realize they weren't joking when the AI voice reminds them of the regulations. They described it as immaculate. There are just two things in the room, a bed and a bench. There's also a basic restroom in which they may only go one at a time, according to the regulations. If they wish to leave, they can press a red button. Their meals are intended to meet their daily nutritional needs and are flavorless. The room also has automated lights that change color throughout the day to signal sunrise, afternoon, and evening. They can set an alarm clock on the touchscreen, and while Mike intends to treat this as a vacation, Kate sets an early alarm so she can have some feeling of regularity. When they retire to bed on their first night, Mike attempts to keep Kate busy, but she is concerned that the professor is watching them. They end up doing it beneath the blankets because Mike demands. When dawn arrives, Kate heads to the bathroom to gaze in the mirror and say a few affirmations to keep her spirits up. After showering, they both put their clothing down the bathroom's washing chute, and in exchange, receive fairly basic pajamas with some color.
Come on, seriously.
Come and get it.
You're hilarious, okay.
To keep themselves occupied, Kate attempts to figure out why Voyan is doing this experiment, so Mike tells her about a documentary he saw about this guy's earlier experiment, which resulted in disaster for a blue-collar family. Nobody knows why Voyan did all of this. All they know is that he has a lot of money and enjoys doing these as he is fascinated by the human condition. Apparently, keeping themselves engaged becomes more difficult than they anticipate. Mike loves to gaze at the clock while Kate meditates. He embarks on philosophical tangents about numerous issues such as the significance of the color white, while he examines with all his art school expertise or the direction they should clean their teeth. Kate constantly encourages him not to look at the time and keep his eyes on the goal, but Mike finds it difficult to think positively. Meanwhile, Kate maintains her pattern of encouraging words and changing the bed, while also attempting to lift Mike's spirits. Mike attempts to exercise, primarily by jogging, while Kate meditates. They play hand-clapping games, Marco Polo, and even dance together. When they take off their soiled pajamas, they are handed another identical set. However, after a few weeks, something unexpected occurs. Mike discovers a bug has infiltrated the room. Mike tries to give it some of the meal shakes after baby-talking it. But as soon as he pours some on the floor, the AI voice reminds them that food can only be consumed by the participants. Mike, concerned about the bug's survival, asks for a method of releasing the tiny fellow while pledging not to leave. Mike chooses to open the door when Kate says that the speaker, through which the AI voice comes out, is not two-way since she tried it. This sparks an argument, since Kate is certain that pressing the button will result in their defeat. Even if Mike does not truly depart, and simply extends his hand for a dumb glitch. Mike spends the remainder of the day sulking until he eventually concludes that doing nothing isn't healthy. Since each of them can take 2 sweets, Mike will request one even if it means taking $100,000 off their reward. Kate doesn't agree, but Mike doesn't need her approval, and his treat is a single green crayon. It's not much, but Mike can now draw on the walls.
What about me?
Kate begs Mike to draw her after watching him draw for a long time, to which Mike agrees. Days pass in monotony until Kate wakes up one morning to find a pistol in the bathroom. They're too terrified to check if it's loaded, and its presence is disturbing, so they conceal it beneath the bed. Mike receives a message from his sister, who informs him how she and their parents are doing, while believing that Mike is no longer seeing Kate. He attempts to make Kate eat by making food jokes, but it's futile, so he ends up joining her in bed in the hopes of comforting her. It still doesn't work, and Mike occasionally decides to sleep on the floor. When Mike does this, he is surprised to see the door open.
Hey.
Hi.
Allowing a nude lady named Simone to enter the room. Kate instantly hates her and demands that Mike gives his t-shirt so Simone can cover up. Simone then compliments Mike's painting, recognizing each inspiration, which makes Kate dislike her even further. Kate hated their exchange and declares they may sleep on the bed as long as she is in the center. Kate decides to take a treat and receive a little box with 3 candies. After a time though, Mike begins to have a nasty trip, seeing blood everywhere and imagining he's underwater while watching his younger brother plummet with him. Kate then brings him back to bed and cuddles him until he slept. When Mike awakens, Simone reveals that she lost her mother as a child, and the two of them bond over their losses. Simone then criticizes Kate's attitude, pointing out that she lashes because of insecurity, which sparks an argument between the ladies. Simone finally leaves, however, not without leaving a message on the wall thanking Mike for a crazy night. An angry Kate then slams Mike to the ground, injuring his head and causing him to bleed. Kate continues to apologize while crying, but their chat is cut as Mike becomes disoriented. Mike believes he requires medical attention, but Kate offers him the meal shakes to get some sugar into his system and covers his wound with a towel, telling Mike that the contract states that medical care is not permitted. Mike can't believe what he's hearing and begins to doubt Kate's sincerity. His wound heals quickly and stops bleeding.
Michael, it's stopping. The bleeding is done.
You don't care, do you?
But he worries how far she might have gone if it had been worse, like letting him die of hemorrhage for money. Mike decides to leave and convinces Kate to do the same because the place has shattered their relationship further. But Kate refuses, pointing out that it's easy for him to talk since he's always had money.
You can't leave.
Kate even brings out the gun to threaten Mike. Mike, however, ignores her and hits the button, ultimately leaving the room. Months later, Mike is single and on a run when he sees Kate emerge from a building. They haven't seen each other and decide to go for a stroll. But when Mike asks Kate if she won or left, she changes the subject. At the very least, she apologizes for everything. As they walk away, the structure reveals itself to be a homeless shelter, with a sign stating that an anonymous contribution enabled them to construct the new kitchen. Meanwhile, a fresh pair arrives in the spotless room to take the challenge. In the end, we learn that love can be tempered with the love of money. But if we choose the right decisions and realize the consequences of our actions, then maybe our lives would be better. If you enjoy watching our videos, feel free to like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell so you get updated whenever we upload new videos.